Hello, Motivational Hue Carekeepers. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Lavanya. Today we're going to talk about Alzheimer's and the 7 stages of Alzheimer's. Now, while we're going to talk about this, we're going to talk about this because as a carekeeper, you want to know where your person is on this journey. And so these stages will help you kind of understand where they are, assess where they are, but also understand what could be coming next. And so let's get started, and we're gonna talk about that. But before we do that, I just need to say that I am not a doctor, I am not a medical professional. I'm a daughter, and I have been with my mother on this journey for 17 years. Okay. So now let's talk about Alzheimer's. Alzheimer's has 7 stages, and these 7 stages are defined in a scale that was created by Dr. Barry Reisberg. And that scale is called the Global Deterioration Scale. The first stage in that scale is where there is literally no noticeable memory loss. So even though there may be changes that are going on in the body, no one can detect it. So it's not something, if you're talking to someone, you would have no outward signs. That person would not be exhibiting any outward signs that there's anything wrong. And this can go on for years, okay? Now, a good example of this would be my mom. We started noticing her memory decline in 2008. After we started talking with her in 2008, we found out that she knew something was wrong in 1991. So look how many years passed from when she started detecting something was wrong, but she never, spoke out about it, to the time that we actually noticed something. So a lot of years went by before anything changed or before it was noticeable. Okay, so that's step 1 is nothing's noticeable. Step 2 is where this is what I call the stage where it just you attribute everything to aging. You just said, "Oh, I'm getting older. Okay, I forgot a name. Oh, I misplaced my keys. What was that word again I was looking for?" So it's just the normal aging thing that we all write off, okay? How many people do you know right now that may be in that state where they are losing their keys all the time, or they are just basically writing everything off to just age? During this time of stage 2, we didn't know again that my mom we thought it was aging. She was losing everything. We would talk to her on the phone because we lived in different states at the time, and would talk to her on the phone, and she's been looking all morning for her keys, or she could misplace this, or she misplaced that, or she couldn't find this. I mean, it was a constant just losing something. But again, it was all written off as just normal aging, okay? When we get to stage 3 is where the outward signs are there. People can notice. You're repeating yourself. The person is repeating themselves over and over and over again. You're in a conversation, you talk about something, then 5 minutes later, they bring up something that you just discussed. How many times have you talked with someone where that occurred? Okay, that's stage 3. So you're already 3 steps into this 7-stage scale. So definitely look out for that. Stage 3, this is the time where my mom actually, she stopped watching soap operas. So if I had known then what I know now, I mean, the signs were really there earlier, but we weren't looking for them. We just wrote them off. She was an avid soap opera watcher. I mean, she loved watching soap operas, and she stopped watching them. And it was like, what? This is something she's done her entire life. She wasn't able to follow the storylines. She wasn't able to keep up with the plots and what was going on. So she wrote it off to us. She told us, well, I'm just going to stop watching it because it just takes up too much of my time. She was retired. It really wasn't taking up much of her time, but she was having trouble with that. Another thing we noticed with her was, well, we didn't notice was, but she was getting lost. She was getting lost while driving, but we didn't know that. We didn't find out till later that she was getting lost driving. So your person, if they're in this stage of stage 3, where they're repeating themselves and they're losing things constantly, they're not following, they stop doing things that requires them to follow a conversation or follow a plot. Or if you're watching a movie, they're constantly asking you what's going on in the movie. Think about it. If that person is still driving, that person is probably getting lost. So remember that. You may have somebody that's in that state right now, which still have keys, that they are driving around, and they could get lost. So remember that, okay? Stage 4, this is moderate decline, okay? So this is when we actually did stop my mom from driving, because she was having little scrapes on her car where she'd come back and like the side of the mirror, the side view mirror would have like little scratches on it, or she couldn't judge distances very well. So we stopped her from driving during this time frame. Just take the keys, okay? Lose track of the day. I mean, there were days where she would, on a Saturday, she would get up and she would get dressed for church because she thought it was Sunday. I mean, fully dressed, ready to go, and it was not Sunday, it was Saturday. A notable thing also during this stage was there was one Thanksgiving where we were preparing the Thanksgiving dressing, the cornbread dressing. And for you Southerners who make cornbread dressing around Thanksgiving and Christmas time frame, you know that this is an event. This takes time. It takes a lot of time and a lot of effort to make cornbread dressing. And we had spent the whole morning in the kitchen making this dressing, my mom, my sister, and I. And after slaving over that stove and making that dressing, about an hour later after we had finished, my mom was like, "Oh my goodness, we forgot to make the dressing." And we were like, "What?" I mean, that was just a big surprise. We were really like, how could you forget what we have just finished doing for the last, 4 hours? So that was a very telling time for us. Another thing I noticed was when we would go to like visit someone in a hospital, if we go to the cafeteria, she didn't know her way back to the room, and it wasn't a difficult path, just 2 turns, but she couldn't remember that. So that was what stood out for us around stage 4. Stage 5, we're now around 2017, 2018 for my mom. In stage 5, this is severe decline, okay? This is where doing day-to-day activities, they maybe cannot do those activities anymore. Some activities they can do, other activities they can't do. So you have to look out for that. So an example of that for my mom was she could still get dressed, but she couldn't figure out which clothes to wear. So I would have to lay her clothes out. I mean, I could run her bath water. She would take her bath. She would get out and she would put on her clothes, and I would lay them out in the order that she needed to put them on. This is a time frame when she came to live with me, as me becoming her caregiver. And so there were activities. I would cook, she would come down, she would eat all her meals, she would walk around. And this is also the time when she started sundowning. So stage 5 for us was when she actually started sundowning in the evenings. And if you haven't watched the sundowning video, please, please, please go check out the channel and watch the video on sundowning. Very important to do that. And also go ahead, stop right now, click like on this video, and click subscribe to the channel. Okay, let's move forward. Step 6. Step 6 or stage 6. This is where it's severe decline. So this is where the person may not be able to communicate clearly. You get a lot of gibberish words. Some things may be very, very clear and have clarity. Other things you don't know really what they're saying. You could still have some sundowning going on in this stage as well. This stage also would involve not being able to do a lot of activities, like a lot of day-to-day activities they're not able to complete, may not be able to remember their names or other people's names or their children's names. They may not remember who their parents were or their siblings were. So this is a severe decline. Also, toileting may become an issue, so be prepared for that. Incontinent may become incontinent in urination as well as defecation. So that's stage 6. Again, stage 6 would require someone taking care of that person. That person cannot live alone now. Stage 5 and stage 6, that person should not be living alone. Someone should be caring for them. Stage 7, this is the end of life stage. This is the stage where the brain is really shutting down. So normal functions are not happening. Controlling their limbs, may begin to forget how to eat or to swallow or to do things that just the normal life activities. They become bedridden, not able to walk anymore, and so you may even have to feed them. So this is the end of life stage, and this stage can go on for years. So definitely, I am not saying this to scare you. I'm saying this to inform you, because when someone got Alzheimer's in the past, it was literally a death sentence. It was just, you're going to follow these stages all the way to stage 7, and then it's end of life. But now there is hope, guys. There is hope, because this is reversible. It absolutely is reversible. And so what I want you to do is I want you to go and get this book, whether or not you're ordering the book or going to your local bookstore. But Dr. Dale Bredesen wrote a book called The End of Alzheimer's. This book is your guide to reversing all of these symptoms we have been talking about. This is the book that would help that person get their quality of life back. So what I want you to do is get this book, as I said, and take notes. Notice I have made a lot of notes in this book. Back in about a year ago, my mother quit speaking. She had kind of advanced to the point where she wasn't talking anymore. And she wasn't noticing people as people come into the room. I mean, you could literally be doing jumping jacks around her and she wouldn't even look your way, wouldn't notice anything, completely out of it. We made changes. We have constantly been doing research, as I told you. I didn't even know about Dr. Dale Bredesen and his recode protocol back then. But as we were researching, we constantly research. We made additional changes. We changed some supplements. We adjusted things in her diet. And she started talking again. So she went from not talking to saying like one word to saying 3 words to then saying complete sentences. Now there are things that she still says that may be gibberish, but her clarity and her ability to be able to understand and say things, and even her wit came back. So she is reversing. We see it. We see it on a day-to-day basis, and we just give all praise to God for how she is improving. And so what we want you to do is we want you to get this book, read this book, study this book, and start implementing this protocol in your person's life. But also start looking for the signs in your family members, other friends and church members, community people that you are associated with. Make sure you start looking for signs of this so that people can implement this protocol. Because even in your own body, implement the protocol so that you never get it. Because what you don't want to do is you do not want to become the patient of another carekeeper who is caring for you because you now have Alzheimer's. So Alzheimer's is running rampant. Why is it running rampant? It's because of all of the pollutants in the environment. It's all of the toxins that we are breathing in, that we are eating, that is accumulating in our brain, and all the plaque that's accumulating in our brain. But not only that, it's the food. The foods we are eating is literally crap. It has no nutritional value. If you look at the back of it, the back of the packages, you will see names that are so long, and they're not coming from foods. They're coming from man-made products and chemicals. So you're not eating anything that's nutritious. Get back to a wholesome diet, and let's start reversing the damage that has already been done to our bodies so that we are never become victims of this horrible, horrible, horrible condition. Okay, so carekeepers, we're here for you. You are not alone in this journey. Please reach out. Please like this video and subscribe to this channel. And we're going to talk more on other videos about other topics in order to help you reverse and get going on this process. But please go get that book and put in the comments. Tell me how you're doing. Assess where you think your person is. Let's talk about it as a community, as a group. Okay? Take care.